What up, what up, what up? It's Uline the voice, and we're back finally with Trust the Plus. So here in these segments, right, this segment here that we're calling Day Talk, right, I'll be Monday through Thursday turning around and talking about the verses of the day, dissecting it and bringing it to a realistic forefront to you. And that all leads up to Friday where we get to our actual Trust the Plus episode, right? So we're starting our weeks off with Day Talks, and then at the end of the week is our episode, right? So glad to be back. Today's verse comes from Isaiah 9:6, right? For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulder, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. So this verse obviously turns around and points to the Messiah, right? Points to Jesus, right? Being born to us, right? It's the prophesying of his birth. It's also something that turns around and says that there's going to be a time when glory will return to Israel, right? The gloom will lift, right? Something that Revelation also turns around and tells us later on, even in the New Testament, right? And it's important to not take that context, right, as you read it, into a futuristic thing, but take it as into something that happens now, right? Jesus turned around and died and said it was finished, right? It's important, like we overlook that it's finished part, and we just take it as what he did, right? But it's finished. The whole thing is finished, right? You are living in that peace, that era now, right? It's going to evolve as we progress through this life, but you are living in that era now, right? What was offered was a new beginning, right? If we really dissect the verse, right? What was offered is a new beginning, child, right? We received the representative, right? We get access to the Holy Spirit. We get access to Jesus, gives us access to God, right? The Son, right? Counselor. We receive the Spirit of truth, right? Again, going back to the Holy Spirit, our ability to actually turn around and have conviction, right? Think about right and wrong. Now, a lot of things that we take for granted that have saved us more time than we can count on our finger, right? Even when we wasn't fully in relationship with God, right? We have him as the Godhead, right? Father, right? A provider, right? Jesus provides us that access to prayer. Jesus provides us that access to speak to God. Jesus provides us with the help me of the Holy Spirit, right? All these different things that we don't really think about on a daily basis, right? And then the most important is peace, right? That access, that relationship that we have now, that new beginning, right? All these things that we have through God, right, should bring peace. What does that peace mean? It does not mean that I'm not every now and again going to lose a job. It doesn't mean my car tire is never going to blow out. It doesn't mean I ain't going to have issues with family members. It doesn't mean that I'm going to get some relationships wrong. What it does mean is that I have the obedience and the understanding that my relationship with God is intact even when I'm going through things. That I have the obedience and the understanding that no matter what is happening, right, God is not left or forsaking me, right? And so as we move through this December time period, a period that has now been coined and pushed on with grief and sadness and, oh, watch out for this and all these different things that it didn't used to turn around and represent. It's not a coincidence that now it happens during a month that's supposed to be in celebration to the birth of Christ, right? Let that sink in, right? That we stop feeding the narrative, right? So as we're processing and we're grieving through loss, as we're remembering times of people long forgotten by the world, but not by us, and definitely not by God, right? As we're turning around dealing with hardships of holidays where we can't fully be able to get everything that we want for our family members or even for ourselves sometimes, right? Understand that there's always a silver lining to the end of this, right? There's a verse that we always like to turn around and talk about, right? And it says, weeping may endure for a night, right? Or in some instances it's temporary, right? May endure for a night, right? But joy comes in the morning. And it says may. That verse says may, right? It's not a necessity that you have to experience all these things, right? And these things affect you less when we turn around and believe in this very verse, right? There was something that happened. There's a change that occurred when Jesus turned around and came into the picture, right? There's a relationship that was destroyed that got restored that we have now. And so if you get nothing else from this, right, All I say that, or I say all this to turn around and say is that don't take for granted the relationship you have with God. And don't let seeing is believing be the thing that stops you from believing in what you should see. So I love you. I'll catch you on another day talk tomorrow. I know we started kind of late into the week, but I understand going further, this will be Monday through Thursday, and then Friday is the actual Trust Plus episode, and it's great to be back. And remember, no mess, no fuss. Always trust the plus. Peace out.